Hello again, lighter fans. I've got a small collection of lighters going. They're inexpensive and I just need to burn some extra stuff off of my patches when I play airsoft. And sewing projects and stuff like that. So I got this thing online as always. You can buy this probably anywhere I assume, but I got this from AliExpress. And this is by a brand called Zorro. It's got a funky mechanism, I think. There it goes. Alright, but we should probably dimension it before I forget. If that's important, because carrying something heavy around, which this is 90 grams. So quite, and that's not even full yet. Dimensionally, let's see, it's 62-ish. Widest point here, I would say is 17. And then this with the hinge, it's 45-ish. Okay. So the construction of this is very robust. This looks like sheet stainless steel, but it's clear coated. This is not raw metal I'm touching. This is definitely clear coated. So I do wonder if this is, I'm pretty sure it's a cheap stainless steel. It might rust in the future. This was not an expensive lighter. But the initial impression seems pretty nice because all the edges are rounded, so it's not going to cut a hole in your pants. It's not going to cut you. The sharpest edge would probably be on the bottom, but even that has a little bit of a polishing on it, so it's not a knife edge. Okay, so it's nice to see the brand text there. It's actually debossed there, as well as this 786. I'm sure that might be a model number or something. Then you have brass screws for the, I guess this middle one might be the wick. I mean the flint to light it, and this must be the fill port for the liquid. There's a brass pivot pin there, another pivot pin there for the flint wheel there, spark wheel thing. A pivot here for the opening mechanism. And then what is holding this hinge together, I wonder? Because it's totally hollow, but I don't see a separate metal tube. Weird. Anyhow, you see they polished off the flash from the molding process of this cap, I guess. Okay, I guess that's it there. So you have these stainless steel plates, cogged. Let's close this. Oh, I see. So that's gonna go around there. I see. And so that, when it opens, pulls the spark wheel. I don't know what these are officially called. Flint wheels? Okay, and then you have a really deep cap here made of brass. So if you have a really tall wick like this, it's going to still cover it to extinguish the flame. And then you'll see here this black flat washer is made of rubber. So that's going to seal the kerosene or the lighter fluid in there and keep it from dehydrating too prematurely. You're still going to fill up that cavity with some gaseous air, but it's better than it not having it. So then you can see here there's this tooth thing to grab the top, and that is grabbing this thing, and that is actually screwed in. So I suppose you could adjust it if for some reason it doesn't want to open. Hopefully it's thread locked so it doesn't mess up in the future. Alright, so there we have a spring there with the end pushing the lid up, and yeah, this is like some sort of cast metal. It's polished really well. These side plates, they could be probably laser cut steel and polished or chromed, and then yeah, they look chromed. Alright, interesting. And then you got the ventilation there, and then we also have a flat screw here for, oh, that's what's holding this side in there, this whole mechanism, which there is a spring there as well, I think. There's a lot of pieces in this thing. This was a pretty cheap lighter, but there's a lot of pieces in there. Okay, it's neat that you can see all that stuff there. Yeah, I need to get my screwdriver here. Let's undo both of these. So be careful, that's under spring tension. That's what's holding the flint in place. Yeah, there it is. So that makes sense. You could replace that when it stops igniting. And it's screwing into a brass piece as well, which also could be removed, but I see no reason to do so. Alright, and then it's got nice knurling on the side, so you could just replace that with your fingers. No tool necessary. Get it that flush, and just do the rest with your thumb. Granted, if you're a person that gets manicures, probably not a good thing. But since I'm a man, I don't care. Okay, well, this thing has an O-ring, of course, to keep the fluid from just dripping out. And it's nice to have this big sight window so you know when to refill the thing. Let's see what's going on in there. Not sure what that hole is for. Maybe it's an air vent or something? I don't know. And then you see a ton of the wick sticking out here, so it should absorb quickly. And let's get some Roncinol in here. Oh boy. Watch me set my booth on fire here. Okay, do this with the finger. I don't even think you need a tool. I think that's sealing in the liquid perfectly fine. I did spill a bunch of stuff. I don't want to light the exterior on fire. I find that if you shake it, it gets the air out of the wick and it saturates it faster. I should probably shake it this way so it's totally submerged. Let's see if that helped. And it did. Whoo, that's a big flame. My goodness. Yeah. Where's my ruler? I don't know where my ruler went, but that is a really big flame. And that wick isn't even sticking out that far. It's definitely sticking out a bit, but more than I want it to, but yeah. So there's still a lot of wick down there, so as this burns away, you can just pull out a little bit more, and that's going to last a while, I'd assume. As long as you know that brass cap doesn't have wick covering up that black rubber seal, it should hopefully keep all this fluid from evaporating. Wow, this is actually a lot stronger than I want it to be, though. I don't want to actually melt the Velcro on the back side of this, right? But yeah, these things get all torn up from playing airsoft and being thrown in a bag. So I don't like using butane lighters. They're too hot. No, that's not even necessary. Okay, well, it is getting warm, being metal and all that, but still tolerable. This is plastic, so you wouldn't probably want to leave this burning forever, because I think eventually it'll get so hot it might melt the plastic here. So be mindful of that. Okay, let's just look at a few other lighters I've reviewed just for size comparison and shape comparison. This one is by Zorro as well. I guess this is model number 785. This one has a match thing in it, which is kind of neat. But you have to light it with this part. Yeah. So that's neat. And this gold thing here has 2 spare flints. It's not an ignition thing. The ignition is just this button here. But you can replace the flint easily. Just remove this jade. I reviewed that elsewhere. Just search the channel. This one is by Honest. That's got a nice brass push button actuator, and you could thread that in, and that's what keeps it from opening in your pocket. So unthread it. So I like that one as well. Very neat. And again, plastic windows on all of these, so you probably don't want them burning too long. And then this one, there's no sight window, but it's so small. It's really neat. But you do have to manually open that and then roll the wheel. So this is by Chief, and it says 715. But look how tiny this is. Right? That thing's cool. I don't know which I like the most, to be honest with you. I think these two look cheaper than the ones on the sides. They were all cheap, in my opinion. I mean, This is a Dunhill. This is butane, and so the O-rings go bad, and butane is a pressurized gas, so it's a shame. But these things are like $500 when they're new, I think. I bought this one used on eBay, but it was still over $100. So, yeah. Okay, well, there's some size comparisons for you. But for today, yeah, I mean, this is pretty neat. It's interesting. I don't know if a left-handed person would like this. Let's see. Oh, I guess it wouldn't matter if you're lefty or righty. So yeah, you can flick this any way you want. It's a pretty strong lock. It'll be hard to, I think, have this open on you because it's rounded. It's pretty deliberate in its action. It'll be kind of hard, I think, to open that by mistake, unless you put it in with a bag with a lot of hard objects. Well, objects with hard edges. Like that's possible. Okay, well anyways, we will see you in the next lighter review. Thanks for watching today.